Hi, welcome back to my channel. I promise I am not only making videos about Don't Worry Darling now. I made a whole video about Dear Evan Hansen that is sitting in copyright hell right now. So I will try and get that video actually uploaded. Don't worry, I'm not just sitting here waiting for stuff to happen with Olivia Wilde, but I had to make an update. I really felt like I had to. But in the intro of that video, I say many things that are no longer relevant, such as thank you for 20,000 subscribers. I'm still grateful, but I'm at 21K now, so I look like a fucking idiot. Thank you for enjoying my last video. Hopefully a Dear Evan Hansen video soon. Let's get into Don't Worry Darling. If you didn't see my last video, don't worry. I will do a quick recap. If you did see the last video, this recap will still be in the video. That's not, the video file is not going to change based on whether or not you watch it. You can skip to this moment, to this timestamp that I'll put right on the screen right now. Also, there will probably be chapters on this video, a very fun feature YouTube has added. When Don't Worry Darling was originally announced, it had Olivia Wilde directing and was going to star Florence Pugh and Shia LaBeouf, but pretty quickly, Shia LaBeouf left the project and Harry Styles was brought in to play his role. Recently in an interview, Olivia Wilde said that she fired Shia LaBeouf, but Shia LaBeouf rebutted that and said that he left the project. There have been a couple statements back and forth regarding who's actually right, who's actually wrong. But regardless, he's not on the project anymore and Harry Styles is in the movie. Also, it seems like there's a bit of a feud between Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh, who in one of the videos talking to Shia, Olivia Wilde called Florence Pugh Miss Flo in a pretty condescending way. Florence Pugh has said very little about the movie and posted about it very little on like social media and stuff, where Florence Pugh has like a pretty active social media account. And Olivia Wilde has said a lot of nice things about Florence Pugh, which is not a bad thing. It's nice when directors like the actors that they work with, but with Olivia saying so much and Florence saying so little, it seems like those things should be a little more even, and they haven't been. Also, I didn't mention this in my last video because it seemed irrelevant, but there were rumors that Florence Pugh was getting paid like a third of what Harry Styles was getting paid for the movie. They're not true. So that's why I didn't feel the need to include them, but we're recapping. Let's get everything in there. We also knew that Florence Pugh was not going to be doing a lot of in-person press for the movie, which was said to be because she's working, she's filming Dune 2 right now. But as someone pointed out, Timothée Chalamet has been given like a full week off to do press for a movie that he's a part of. So she definitely could have gotten that time off if she needed, especially because Dune 2 and Don't Worry Darling are both Warner Brothers movies. Warner Brothers wants Warner Brothers movies to make money. I know that sometimes it doesn't seem like that based off the whole Discovery HBO Max merger that just happened, but I do believe that the company wants to be profitable. I could be wrong, but I think that's the case currently. Also, it is rumored that Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde were dating during the making of this movie, and that she left her, not husband, her fiance, Jason Sudeikis, in order to be with Harry Styles. She was also served custody papers, not divorce papers like I said. She was served custody papers on stage while talking about Don't Worry Darling. And I ended my video by saying, one, is this all just marketing for the movie? Like, are they drumming up fake beef in order to, get people to talk about the film? Because any press is good press. And two, talking about how Olivia Wilde, is a woman. And so as a director in Hollywood, she's going to be under more scrutiny than her male counterparts. And, while I do think that she has done things that are, not nice, there are way worse people who are continuing to work to this day with a myriad of stars and budget and no consequences, seemingly. Still doesn't mean that I agree with everything she's done or everything she said. However, I think she's been a little dogpiled upon, and I think that's a fair thing to say. One other thing that I didn't mention in my last video that a fair number of people wanted me to address were the comments Olivia Wilde made about Jordan Peterson, where she called him, quote, an insane man who is this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. She then went on to characterize the incel community as a, quote, community of disenfranchised, mostly white men who believe that they are entitled to sex from women. And as a white man, I have to say, that's pretty accurate. Nice job, Olivia. In one of the articles I read defending Jordan Peterson from these heinous attacks from the radical left, the author writes, Wilde's description of the incel community as, quote, mostly white, is also plain wrong. In fact, according to one survey, only 55% of incels are white men. Now, it's been a while since I've taken an SAT prep class, or I've never taken a statistics class just at all. However, it is my understanding that if you have a whole with a W that is more than half something, it is mostly that thing. You can't get a pizza and then put pepperoni on 55% of the pizza and then say, actually, characterizing this pizza as mostly pepperoni is just plain false. No, it's not plain anything. It's got pepperonis all over it. Okay, so that's everything that happened before I uploaded the video the night of Saturday, September 3rd. I had work the next day, so I uploaded Saturday night. The video went up on September the 4th, and almost immediately after it went live, new alleged texts from Shia LaBeouf released, these ones being between him and Florence Pugh. These texts show that allegedly there was no bad blood between Shia and Florence, and that Olivia threw Shia LaBeouf under the bus, allegedly. So this new evidence shows that maybe Olivia Wilde lied? What? That's crazy. I don't think this really changes anything. It's just more evidence that shows that maybe Olivia Wilde was dishonest about how things were regarding this project. It doesn't reveal anything new. It's just more of what was already being said. But then, the next day was the premiere of the film in Venice. And that has something to talk about. It was known that Florence Pugh was not going to be there for the press conference, but that she would be there for the red carpet, and she would be there to watch the movie. The day started out strong, with Chris Pine making a plethora of faces at the press conference, looking like the least interested Dane at the UN. It's very much, I'm just here so I don't get fired. And then during an interview with just him and Harry Styles said this.
My favorite thing about the movie is like it feels like a movie. It feels like a real, like, you know, go to the theater film movie that, you know, you kind of, the reason why you go to watch something on the big screen.
Oh, good, Harry, good. You can say that about most things. My favorite thing about the sweater is I guess he'd say a jumper. My favorite thing about the jumper is it feels like a jumper. It feels like the response a second grader would give when they were asked why they liked the Lego Ninjago movie. And this was after earlier in the day, Harry gave this response.
Music, I've done it a little bit longer, so that feeling is a little more comfortable, but what I like about acting is I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's quite fun.
Oh, really? You're not aware of what's going on? Could have fooled me. I don't think Chris is either. When Olivia was asked about Florence Pugh, because how could she not have been? She said, "As for the endless tabloid gossip and noise out there, the internet feeds itself. I don't feel the need to contribute. I think it's sufficiently well nourished." And I'll agree, some of it is 1,000,000,000% tabloid gossip. That's why people like it so much. And that's fun. That's fine. But I think if you dig a little bit deeper, there are some genuinely interesting questions there. Like, how do gender roles affect this conversation? And how do power dynamics affect this conversation? And how did Harry Styles get this job? You know, questions we're all asking. While she's not at the press conference, Florence Pugh is still in Venice, sipping on a drink and walking around in an outfit that is probably going to be pretty iconic. I don't want to speak for Florence Pugh and say that this was totally intentional and just a way to get the media to look at her instead of at the actual movie. The case is pretty compelling for that, though. Also on Instagram, Florence Pugh's style team were wearing shirts that say Miss Flo on them, referencing what Olivia had said in that video message to Shia LaBeouf. And Olivia Wilde's stylist posted on her own Instagram story talking about how you don't know the full story and there are two sides to everything. When we got to the red carpet, Florence Pugh shows up to the elation of her castmates. We've got Chris Pine going full mom with a camera that he brought because he does not own a smartphone, which I did not know until this event happened, but honestly, good for him. Everyone in the cast has huge smiles on their faces when Florence shows up. They're taking pictures of her. They're hugging her. Meanwhile, Harry Styles is off being the biggest pop star in the world, signing autographs, interacting with the fans. He's the new king of pop. Don't you read Rolling Stone magazine? When the whole cast was taking their pictures together, you've got Harry, Olivia, and Florence, all conveniently separated by their castmates. They sat in similar fashion at the premiere, everyone separated, where it looked like Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine. He did not. Thankfully, he did not. From the video, I totally understand why people thought he did. Harry leans down and purses his lips, and Chris Pine stops clapping. So it looks like there could have been spit there. There was not. Harry Styles did not spit on Chris Pine. The day was already so full of drama and people overanalyzing and looking and speculating. So when a video like that comes up, I understand why when there's like an overindulgence, because that's what it was. It was an overindulgence by Twitter. When there is that overindulgence, I can understand why people were like, why not? Why not have somebody spit on somebody else at the premiere of the movie? That's great. And when the movie's about to start, the lights start to dim. Chris Pine throws on his sunglasses and looks like he's about to take a nap. Amazing. So all of that happened at the premiere on September the 5th. And it led to one of my favorite tweets of all time. I too was following it very closely, mostly because I had just made a video about it and I wanted to know what the hell else was going to go on. What's my mom saying to me? She's telling me to watch Olivia Wilde on Stephen Colbert. Hey, guess what, Mom? I already did, and I'm going to talk about it. And then yesterday, the 21st night of September, Olivia Wilde was on Colbert talking about the movie, promoting it. And they talked about the drama because of course they did. They talked about Shia leaving, and she conceded a little bit that it might be, in his eyes, him leaving the project, where she could see how she would think he was fired.
So he can say he quit and you fired him, and both of you can think you're right?
It's a question of semantics.
No, but honest to God, is that it?
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
She also talked about Florence Pugh and dodged the questions in the way that she normally dodges questions about their relationship.
Speaking of Florence Pugh, an amazing performance.
Yes.
Let's get to another question you shouldn't have to answer.
Yes.
People say you are feuding with Florence Pugh. Is there anything you want to say to that?
No, the only thing I want to say to that is that another one of our weird rumors, Spitgate, and that is clickbait.
No tension between you and Florence Pugh.
I have nothing but respect for Florence's talent.
She doesn't really answer the question. She doesn't say that there's no bad blood between them. And obviously she only can say her feelings towards Florence because that's, she can't speak for somebody else. But she might know how Florence feels about her and is just not saying it.
No, I think what's funny is I don't feel like my male directing colleagues are answering questions about their cast.
I would agree with you. And even if every rumor of your movie were true, it would be pretty light fare compared to Alfred Hitchcock.
Thank you.
Or any of the great directors out there that we admire so much.
Yes,
and
it's really important.
I don't think that a male director would be rumored. I wouldn't even have these questions because this wouldn't be swirling around this film.
No, people would actually be talking about the movie itself.
I think she's right. I touched on this in my last video, but male directors have gotten away and continue to get away with much worse. And it's a problem. It's a problem with accountability. But, what does accountability look like in Joe Biden's America? I talked in my previous video about how I thought this was all a marketing stunt, and I came to the conclusion that I did not think it was. And I still really don't think it is all just a marketing stunt based off of how little Florence Pugh has involved herself with promoting the movie. I don't think it was a plan to pretend there was tension between Olivia and Florence, but they've definitely leaned into it a little bit. Olivia is fielding questions more about it, talking about it more. She and Stephen Colbert laughed about Harry Styles not spitting on Chris Pine. There's definitely less of that false pretense that everything is fine. There's nothing to worry about. We're all good here. It's all love. I think it would be really funny if Olivia Wilde lead into it and was like, Florence Pugh hates me now, but I might get her an Oscar nomination, so I don't think she can hate me that much. But also by leaning into it, it becomes a little bit less fun for the internet to joke about it and causes people to talk about your movie less. People were most certainly talking about the movie when it was premiering in Venice back on September 5th, but that was 2.5 weeks ago. But by leaning into it, It makes people less interested in joking about the movie. The same way that when Jared Leto, can't believe I'm mentioning him on this channel, made a Morbius joke, the joke died immediately. It was instantly over. By leaning into it, people find it less funny and they talk about it less. I haven't seen a whole lot of people talking about the movie. And when I have, it's been people saying that it is not very good. The hype has died down, and I don't know how many people are going to go out to the movies. Speaking of going out to the movies, I'm so glad you asked. I've got to go. Wow, I'm coming into the movie theater now at the start of the movie. At the movies. At the movies. Wow.
On a huge silver screen. Sound that I can. Heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Why is it shorter?
Bye, Harry. Bye, Florence. Bye-bye. It's 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, after seeing Don't Worry, Darling. And the verdict is... that movie felt like a movie. And honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. It could have been way worse. We'll see how it does at the box office. I feel like it's a movie that wants you to watch it multiple times, but I don't think that I would want to watch it multiple times. Not because it's very bad. If it was very bad, I'd want to watch it again and again. There's no way to like see the demographic breakdown, but I'm sure a large portion of rewatching will come from people who just want to see Harry Styles again. And you know what? I understand that. He is definitely in the movie. Oh, and my friend Abby made a TikTok about the movie. She really wants you to see it. Pretty good, right? Anyway, it'll get some awards for like scenic design, costuming, because all that's really good. And you know, Academy voters love a period piece. I really feel like the best thing I can say about the movie is that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And that's mean. I think the moral of the story is, if you're gonna have a bunch of drama between people on your movie, make sure the premiere is closer to the release date so you can actually make some money off that hype. But maybe it will make money off the hype. Again, I don't know. The movie comes out today because now it's 1:47 a.m. on September 23rd. And I'm inebriated, and you can tell because I'm eating on camera. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and you wouldn't mind leaving a like or subscribing, I would really appreciate that. Again, I made a whole video about Dear Evan Hansen. It is just currently being blocked, even though I'm doing fair use in the video. I'm allowed to show a clip from a movie if I'm talking about it. I don't know if you've seen any other commentary YouTuber do that, but you are allowed to show clips from copyrighted material as long as you have something to say about it. And boy, I'm unlike Evan Hansen. I don't got nothing to share. I got lots to share, and I got lots to say. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.